That's okay. So, so we have HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP, what you will have? You will have the entire type of request, that is get request, post request, all those things with some resource location with HTTP and other HTTP header fields. Okay. HTTPS will also have there is no difference in between these header fields and these header fields. It will be the same. The only change is the body part, whatever you are carrying some data, will be encrypt, not encrypted here. Not encrypted here. It will be encrypted. Body only this much only encrypted. These things in the Wireshark or anywhere you can see as is. Okay, this body is encrypted. Okay, now that is a reference. Whenever someone says it is like I have used encryption means headers, if you do encryption, okay, how the other system, even though if it is a genuine system, okay, headers it won't be able to understand anything and it will just discard it as a garbage. Header should never get encrypted. Only the application data should get encrypted, not the headers. Got it? And more even from the top layers, okay. So for example, this is a transport, this is the internet, I mean like networking, okay. Networking, I should say rather than. Okay, this is data link and this is a physical layer. Okay, so what are the functionalities of application layer? Tell me, guys. Functionalities of application layer, guys.
Request,
Generating the
sending
request.
sending requests,
Okay, generating the request you should say.
generating the request,
Okay, then
represent the data,
presenting the data.
presenting the
Presenting the data. Data. Uh,
data,
Here two
uh,
types it will come.
creating
One is
sessions, creating sessions.
okay, creating sessions. Okay, that is very good. Okay, this presenting the data are two types. One is encoding, which
Yes,
encoding we are using. Another one is okay, encryption.
encryption.
Both are optional only. Without encoding and the encryption also you can send the data. Okay, but these are optional fields, right? You should tell them that also because it's happening in the presentation layer. Okay, so encryption happens only to the data, whatever it is there, the request generated when if there is a post request, means you are sending the username and password. The data will be encrypted in the body part, not the headers will never get encrypted. First remove that thing in your mind that entire packet gets encrypted. No, only body, only body. Let us see that. Okay. Yeah, TCP dot port is 443. Okay, let's focus on that particular part. Okay, now you see this, some communication is happening in the background. This is the transport layer and this is the application data, whatever it is carrying. Okay, you see the data is going through the TLS, that is like encryption application data is here. So the data whatever you have here, okay, whatever you have here is converted into different format, okay, different encrypted format. Are you able to see your what is transmission, whatever it is, this particular part, okay, like other header fields, all those things are as is, okay, they are not changed at all. Okay, so just remember, okay, that particular thing. And if I say okay, for example, google.com. America.com HTTPS. Yeah, I think this is the application. Yeah, there is certificate. Certificate key exchange is here. Okay. So what kind of certificate means what kind of encryptions and all will be they'll be doing based on the what do you say this particular the what do you say this completion, this is a completion, like hey, you use this certificate and use this security algorithms, so based on that I'll be able to decode your data. That kind of communication will be happening. Okay, let's move back to our this thing where it is. Yeah. Okay, now so we discussed about this particular things. Okay, correct, right? Okay, now so now you tell me, so in different, like we'll be using most of the times HTTP, okay, but for a lot of data people will be browsing, even developers will also need HTTP to get the Stack Overflow, all the what is source code to whatever the developers they develop, even in the organizations, 90% of the time they'll be doing the web data to search their solutions. Okay, so you'll be having a lot of data from HTTP. Okay, um, and also it is like the fundamental part of the internet itself. Whatever the web or you take like normal apps, or if you take it as on browser, whatever any application. Now it is the fundamental part of internet. What it is, HTTP. Okay, so since it is easy way that and it is accessible everywhere, the hackers are using it as their main source of their attack techniques to compromise any systems. Okay, so yes, definitely. But first of all, we should know what kind of traffic you will be getting into your organization. Correct, right? Then you will focus on the other part of um, other part of like attacks and all. So let me check what kind of traffic comes and what kind of attacks you might see. If you see inbound, okay, and you have the outbound. Forget about this part. Now we are talking about this. Okay. Now inbound. Whenever I say inbound, okay, what does it mean inbound? Inbound means incoming traffic into your network. Say for example, this is a web server. Okay, or this is a PC. Okay, the incoming of the data on from external to your server or any of your PC. Okay, that is called as inbound. We are not only talking about servers alone. We are talking about the PCs. PCs has sent some GET request. For that response they get, right. That is also the response is also inbound. Okay, you have a web server within this location itself. This is the company. This is a web server. The traffic, whatever it is coming, someone is trying to get. You have to send a response. Correct? This get is also one. Some of them for the machines, the response is the inbound. For servers, the requests are inbound, but all of the assets are belongs to you. All of the traffic that is coming in. So consider everything is inbound. Okay, so say for example, consider if you have the web server as a part of it. Okay, here. Okay, now what kind of uh, like attacks? Say for example, they do no, rather than like what I can say. Um, Say like inbound, usually it will be like the clients you focus here. Okay, the traffic, most of the users, the majority of traffic outgoing of HTTP will be going from the clients. Outgoing means like get request, post request will be sent by the clients. Okay, but this it will be sending the responses. Correct, right? So that is the first point you have to remember. Okay, So, say for example, uh, say what kind of attacks in inbound they do. So I have a web server, okay, and I'm a e-commerce site, okay, and what I've done is uh, somehow I got compromised or something happened. My users' data is leaked, not from me because the users only might have actually lost their data from their side. But what I have done is, um, I'll I'm an attacker here. Say for example, I'll go to the black dark web, okay, and I'll purchase some credentials related to my company, some e-commerce site, okay. It is not advisable, guys. Please, as a matter of what do you say, caution, I will say don't do such things. Okay, so take the credentials, okay, and put it over here. Okay, I mean like they have bought it from some others, and you will buy them. Okay, those credentials database. Now what you'll do, you'll take each and every one by one. Okay, and start trying to attempt to log in that particular machine. First one, second one, third username and password, fourth username and password, fifth username and password. This is how the brute force happens. Okay, these guys might have changed password. Okay, there is another way. First, take the username, use first password. They have sold only the usernames. These guys, 100% those email IDs are there. 100%. Okay, so you will be like putting or forget about this scenario. Next scenario where you don't have the password. You found some document, online document about that employee. He released some white paper on some work what he has done, research what he has done. You found email ID there. You took that email ID like that. You harvested so many employees of the same company and you have noted it down same company employees emails. Okay. First take the first employee name, email ID and try to guess some password, list of passwords, first attempt. Okay. Then take the second password, second attempt, third attempt for that. This web application you are trying to access. Okay. Web page you are trying to access again and again and again and again. Okay. Using brute force method. Brute force means you are using your brute force to crack the password. Okay. That is called as brute force. Okay. Then you have something called okay, SQL injection. Okay. SQL injection is nothing but you have in a simple way I'll tell. I don't want to confuse most of you guys not even know about this. So the system whenever they take the input username and password, okay, first they will see the condition. The if username is equal to this thing and password is equal to this thing, okay, then you allow him to log in. Correct, right? That is the condition what it is. If username returns true, if password returns true, okay, so they will be having some kind of logic written in such a way that if both will are successful, then both conditions are successful. If username is equal to true and password is equal to true, then um, allow him to log in. So some attackers, what they do is, okay, they use simple SQL injection commands like, okay, uh, say for example, I am telling you, okay, 1 is equal to 1. Is it true or not? Guys, guys,
Yeah, true.
okay. For, what they do, SQL injection, password also they will keep. If this logic, whatever they have written, is not secured logic, so these both conditions now satisfied, right? Am I correct or not? Guys,
Yes,
so
sir.
whatever the SQL commands they are actually using to validate the username and password, if the logic, whatever they are using, if some issue is there, okay, like this, like SQL treats 1 is equal to 1, if you say, yes, it is, it will say, okay. Password also 1 is equal to 1 means SQL command, what it will think? Yes, 1 is equal to 1 means you are allowed SQL to run the commands, okay, for the internet. So to avoid such thing, you will do parameterization, all such things you will do. Now it is not required for us at all. Okay. Now you think whatever you enter, actually this data, whatever you are giving, means like it has to check in the database, right? Whether the username and password is there or not. Correct, right? In the database only it will check, right? So when whatever you are giving this particular entire username and password thing as a statement, when it is executing username, okay, select employee database, 1 is equal to 1 means, oh, command I have to execute, I am executed true, okay. Then password is equal to password, oh, that is also true, okay. Both conditions satisfied. Let's allow him to enter into the website. Got it, right? That is very bad. So SQL you are making to execute in such a way that which it should not do. So you have to have control on your SQL, what should be accepted, what should not be accepted. All the conditions you have to make sure during the development. Okay, for the backend. Okay, so that type of attacks are called as SQL injection attacks. Okay, now sometimes what they do is, okay, say for example, uh, if you have a server, okay, and we are telling, right, someone is actually accessing the data, okay. Usually your regular data from your web server is like this. Data usage is like this. Example I'm just giving, and it will be like this. Okay, from 6 to 6 again. 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Something. Example. Okay. You take here 6 a.m. And again next day morning again it will go. And next 6 p.m. it will be like this. Okay. So instead of this, okay, and if it is going like this, is there any change? You saw very small change also. You've seen that some change. It went up and it is continuing. Okay. And yesterday compared it was completely flat. Now if you see it is not touching the ground. Touching the ground is very little traffic in the night. But if you see some traffic, at least some 3% or 4% from the daytime it is there. Okay. Again. Okay. So this kind of things are this sudden increase. Okay. This abnormal things. All these things you should. Usually it will be flat. Correct, right? This it will be flat. But this is something, some traffic is there. Some amount of traffic is actually increased. Okay. So web traffic that is exiting from your web server. So that means some issues here that is called as exfiltrations might be happening. Someone is carrying the data from my web server to the external system. So you have to check that. Okay. So that is one thing. Okay. That is from the web server point. Okay. And there is one more thing called as, say for example, uh, OS commands. Okay. So whether you believe it or not, some fields, okay, they are taking the inputs, right? Okay. Once you enter the input and click OK, right? If you write some commands here like ls, okay, ls minus l, this kind of commands, which are normal Linux commands. If the server sometimes hosted on a Nginx or Apache, but are on web whatever the server, these are the servers, and the operating system is Linux or Windows. Okay, people will be trying these type of inputs also. Is it responding back to me with some operating system command results? Like ls means as soon as when it takes the command, okay, then it will be returning some output as some list of something or something like that. Okay, so what I mean to say is some companies they don't like properly restrict the what kind of inputs the user gives. Those kind of companies definitely going to affect, like ultimately showing the entire their web related complete hierarchy, and then other files like what are all password locations and documents stored there. Okay, other resources are stored because the entire OS itself now they are able to see. Instead of what they do, they will be like a cat they will do, and they will see entire file. Okay, cat and so on so location. They will see what everything whichever they want. If after like ls command, if they see some files and folders are there, right, they will be opening them and they can see whatever they want. Okay, so these are like OS commands are also sometimes some companies they won't fix them properly, so those commands you can execute. Okay, okay. Then so you have cross-site scripting. Okay, I'll explain later. I don't want to put you guys in something, but just remember it. Okay, I don't want whichever it can be easily correlate. That's what we have discussed. Okay, immediately like the database you might have seen sometimes. So that's why many of you know at least what is meant by database, right? So that's why cross-site scripting altogether it is an attack, but I'll explain you guys later. Okay, then else, yeah. Uh, That's it, I guess. We cannot. So, what and all things we have seen? We have seen like attacks might be like can be excesses, or it can be like a data thefting. Theft is to be monitored, and what SQL injection we have to see, and whether they are running any OS commands, or whether they are any what do you say brute force attacks. All these things we have to see when it comes to the this particular part. Okay, in inbound related aspects, what kind of attacks they might come into our server. Okay, so now web clients are going to the external world, correct, right? Clients are connecting to the external world. Okay, so here what kind of outbound traffic whatever we have, okay, client might get under attack. Okay, so we have some of them we have already discussed. Okay, so they might be connecting to command and control. Okay, so they might be trying to reach the attacker web server. Okay, uh, okay, so uh, so now attacker has actually reached here. Okay, now he will be communicating with this guy to control this machine and do whatever he wants. So that is the reason command and control. Okay, and then okay, like DDoS attacks. Okay, so here is the system. Okay, so you are sending the request. Say for example, DDoS attack is rather than like that. Let me put it in a altogether different way. Okay, so okay, so your system, okay, and you are a client, okay, and you are sending some traffic to some company web server, Amazon, get request, okay. So for example, I'm just giving, Okay, like that, some other company, some other fellow, okay, sending from his company again to the get request. Okay, you are sending 10 requests from your office for every second. 10 requests. This guy is sending one request after 5 minutes again. Some other. So who is suspicious? This or this? Which one is suspicious? Yes? I think I lost.
Thank you.
Huh? This one, huh?
Yes.
Which one is suspicious? You are sending every second 10 requests. Here, maybe every second, every 5 or 10 seconds, he is opening a page that time. Every 5 minutes one get request. Which one is suspicious?
First one, every 10 seconds.
First one.
First one.
Yeah. Okay, so you might be a part of bigger picture of DDoS attack. Your company organization system might be a part of attacker is here. That's what behind the thing I have not shown here. Okay, attacker is here. He might be controlling lot many machines of your organization. Okay, and sending a attack traffic to the from a C to C command control to this particular web server. You might be without knowing to you a part of it. So we have to focus on that also. Whether your client is sending lot of GET request, okay, usual GET request, same thing, nothing to worry. Okay, usual GET request traffic is like this. Usually 9 o'clock people will come to the office. Their traffic is like this, flat. Always remember, guys, flat, or some lunch break it will be reduced little, and again it will go flat, and again slowly it will come down. Okay, because no one is there in the office night. Okay, let it be. Okay, but sometimes what happens, some people might be working in the night shift, so might be like this. Okay, and it is like this. So this is the amount of get request. Okay, I will put it like this. Okay, like this. Get request, whatever the length will be, like night times what it is, day times what it is. If you see some command control center all of a sudden said like, hey guys, you start attacking Amazon.com, then you will see like this. For 10 minutes you do this. Means you, from one machine you have found like this. So many get requests within half an hour, and again it went like this. This kind of anomalies we are going to see. Or sometimes, okay, like this. For every 1 hour you will be sending multiple get requests. So you have to identify this thing changed. Okay, so this thing is changed, right? So you take that particular thing, index and source type. Okay, now you tell that, okay, okay, stats count by, okay, the number of requests, correct, right? Stats count by any one thing. Definitely every request will have one event, correct, right? That is request field, correct, right? Request will be there because this is sending the request. Stats count by request. So you will get all the different timelines, or who has sent what, how many number of requests. Then you just remove everything. Okay. Then you give head, means whatever it is, like the top. Okay. The top command, top 10 only you take from the counter. So that will give you an, like, who are top it is. Okay. Head if you take, like whatever the top you will get, that particular count order it will do, right? You will be having the highest value at the top, right? When you do the stat count, you take that particular thing. Okay. And just give comma along with the stats count by header, comma IP address you give. when you say, then you will get the top person who has sent many requests. Okay, take that thing and what is the URL you get inside, open the event and see. Guys, you are getting what I'm saying? Guys,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
okay. So now you take that URL, whatever you are getting it. Okay. And take that URL and do some kind of analysis. Go to that public sites where you can get to know about um, the domain name reputation, like reputation related websites will be there, right? Uh, so that point, if your company might be using some um, tools, okay, so those tools you have to use. I don't know which I mean, like your company, what you uses. But for me, like go like IP reputation, domain reputation, so many websites are available for free also, so you can use it. But is it recommended if the company doesn't have it? Okay, is it recommended? Because you might be the first person who is actually doing the analysis for the organization. Correct, right? So is it good to search such things um, in public? No, you should not. Okay. Why? Because if someone is trying to search, sorry guys, if someone is trying to search, as soon as when you search, okay, if you see who and all are searched kind of things, they'll be putting this IP address has put as tried to search is searched by this so and so IP address from that particular IP address or from so and so the user or something if it is a registered thing. Okay, is searched this so and so domain name. Okay, then attacker will be watching all these things whether someone is doing something or not. Okay, if he'll be like come to know that, oh, someone whatever the my command and control center, these guys have got identification techniques, so he will change his attack techniques. Okay, so that's the reason what I'll say is don't use that free products. Better they have to use the commercially viable products which gives the same information but doesn't disclose the information to the external world, and the attacker will never come to know who is the actual, because your data whatever you searched is kept privately for you only. Okay, no others will have access, but intelligence information will be there for you all the time, whatever, whether it is good website or bad website or no information about it, all that information it will be giving it to you alone. Okay, now you got it right, guys? Steps to follow for investigation for this kind of things. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just we'll be doing that, but I just want to give you that information before we see that. Okay. So then some okay, some software you have installed. This is like DDoS related things. Okay, how you can detect. Okay. Then next, what is that? Say for example, uh, you have a link. Okay. Here, what they will do is, I think, okay. Example I'll give you. Okay. Some website is very good website. Okay. Then, okay. First, what he will do is, he will make you to install one PDF file, whatever it is. It is a malicious PDF file. Okay. You will install it. Okay. This is called as stage 1. Okay. Whatever the file you get installed, right? That is called as stage 1. Okay. Once this stage 1 gets completed, whatever the PDF file once you download, okay, that is called as stage 1. When you launch it, okay, and some script gets if any script runs, okay, and it in turn sends some a request, domain name request to some server, okay, to some server, because the file is downloaded now. Now this doesn't have much of the malicious code, only the part how to connect your command and control center information is there in this. By user, if he clicks on that, so that code will get executed and it will go connect to the command and control center, and it will be for sending some data to get downloaded. That is called as stage 2 download. These type of things you have to be very careful also. Stage 2 downloaded things also. Okay, stage 1 also, but stage 2 as well. Okay, so now what and all we have gone through, like command and control, that is one part, and if someone is trying to directly reach by the domain names, using the domain names with the GET request, okay, and remote access control is also one there. Just let me open here. So remote Trojan means you have actually installed a software, okay, and if you see all the time this, whatever the Trojan, you know that Trojan, right? Like Troy movie or story, if you see, they will be like these Brad Pitt, um, these guys, they will, I am just putting something, some horse, something like that. They will create miniature once if they come to know that they are not going to win the war with the Troy if they do the traditional fighting and all. So to getting into the fort, what they do, they will leave this one horse, and they will leave, and their horse will be taken inside, uh, and these guys will hope that okay, they couldn't win because like the gods have actually cursed them. So morning when they come, there is no boats or anything, everything left. So they say this, they see this, and they will take it inside. But what they doesn't know, this is a very big horse. Once that gets inside, okay, they doesn't know he'll be keep this horse will be like kept quiet for so much amount of time until these guys will be in another kind of, what do you say, party after end of the day, because they will think like these people who came to attack these guys have actually left now. So all the things, okay, inside they will be there. So they'll be break this and they will come out and they will start killing everyone. Okay, these people. Okay, so this is also same thing. You doesn't know that software, whatever we install, might be having some kind of malicious code, but still we install it on our machine. So we are bringing the Trojan into our machine. Okay, so then after that it will start connecting to its remote servers. I'm not talking about the downloaded file or anything, but it is of a software itself. So it is a software. It will be tries to connect a remote server. So the Trojan server will be somewhere here, and the background the software will be getting the instruction. It will be doing your work as well, but inside it is doing some other activities as well without knowing to you. Okay, so this is about this is the one, right? So this is about what do you say, some web related outgoing traffic related. So if you find any GET requests or anything from any application, which shouldn't be, browser has to send usually, but if you come to know that instead of browser, some other port, which is like some application is sending, some suspicious thing is there. So perform all the required things. Okay, so is it clear now? Different like inbound, outbound related different types of traffics, that HTTP attacks kind of things you might be seeing. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now, so that is a directions related thing. Now let us see like type of um, different types of systems we have to focus on. So the traffic is coming from a client to the organization, okay, internet, okay. So the client is somewhere in the internet and is trying to reach. So first he will go to the router, and then he'll go to the firewall, then he will go to the switch, then it will be going to the WAF, and then it will be going to the web server. Okay, okay. So this WAF is one application where you have to collect the logs. Okay, okay. If you have some software here itself or any other software appliance here in between, okay, that is called as malware appliance detection device. Sometimes they will be putting here itself in the client itself, like CrowdStrike or Blue Coat or any antivirus services or sofas or anything, uh, something detection devices and or detonation devices they will be using. Okay, here or here somewhere. Okay, some people they put it in front also. I have not seen, but sometimes they represent it. Okay, so they do all such type of things. Okay, so now these devices, whatever you're seeing now, WAF or all these parts are there, right? Okay, are actually trying to capture the incoming data, correct, right? Incoming data. Okay, so WAF, okay, are these protection devices, okay, or sometimes the traffic is going from here, right? So what we'll do is we will take from here or from here, okay, anyone, okay, anyone, or I'll keep, okay, take the spanning port, create a spanning port and collect the logs, okay, and use it as an IDS, okay, collect as an IDS. So IDS will be looking at the web traffic. He'll be having some intelligent signatures. If the traffic matches with any of the signature, then it will be alert will be generated. IDS team will be looking into it. The same alert, if there is any alert comes, SOC will also be looking at. Okay, why SOC it is required? Whether these guys have working properly or not, we can verify. But in case if they are not there, also we can take that. We can do further on. They will check only to this extent, but we'll be checking at the organization level. Okay, so that thing. Okay, and the application server logs also important, as I said. So you will be what and all logs will be collecting for all inbound traffic, WAF logs, okay, endpoint logs, okay,
Fan port.
server logs like Apache or Nginx or IIS, all those things, and IDS logs. Okay, these are the incoming logs that you have to. Okay, then outbound. Okay, so this is a system, guys. Unlike uh, as I said earlier at the beginning, okay, of the class, you should never let your company, okay, which, okay, and this is connected to some proxy, okay, and then this it will be sent back from switch to some firewall, from there to router, from there to database that which URLs to be sent outside and which should not be. So based on that, it will be like sending from here and going. And it is used for one more reason, that to hide the identity of the client which sent this request to the external world. So that is the reason proxy will put its own IP address as the source instead of these machines. Okay, so just remember that. So the request will be again comes back to this. Okay, when there is a response coming back, because the request went from here, right? So it won't directly go to the client. First, it will go to this particular system. So here, what it will see? It will see a field called as, once it is sending, X forwarding for kind of fields will be there, right? So that it will be using those fields for this thing. Okay, this is we'll see later all those things, but proxy are important things which takes care of outgoing traffic from your clients to the external world. Okay, the web proxies are important. Okay, and these firewalls are also important. Whether some domains to be allowed or not will be taken care. Whether these ports to be allowed or not, 443 is allowed or not, 80 is allowed or not, all those things. So next gen firewalls are also very much important. All your incoming and outgoing traffic will be monitored here, right? So IDS, not only the incoming, outgoing also will be monitored. Okay, so that is the outbound related traffic. Okay, so you can collect in different ways these logs. As I said, directly you are sending them source log files directly to there, different ways, whichever it is. Okay, okay. So you will be seeing a lot of the times the web server logs as access logs combined, access combined logs, like this will be access combined. What is this combined logs? You should remember that. Okay, the combined logs are any, okay, like the logs that are generated by a web server which are related to like security access, or like sorry, accessing the web page from external to the internal, or internal some traffic is going outside from that web server. Okay, all those are called as access, I mean like combined logs, which like Apache server or IAS, okay, or Nginx, all these things are called as web servers. Whatever the web server, there is a standardized format. Okay, sorry, IAS will be following different format. Okay, so this standardized format will be called as combined logs. Okay, if you take Apache, Nginx, these things will be supporting the access combined format. Okay, like syslogs, how we have the same way. Okay, so say and some what do you say, other like is W3C extend, which is nothing but the what I can say, something called as, like for IAS separately, they'll be naming, I mean like they have the uh, log collection mechanism for IAS. Means Microsoft is the company which they also have some servers. Okay, so that is called as IAS server. It is a, like if you install any server, any web server in Microsoft server, that is called as IAS. Okay, if you use their IAS server, you can host some websites. Okay, okay, sorry guys. Okay, so okay, now let us see weblogs. Let us follow through some weblogs. Okay, we have seen it, but just for our sake, localhost. Guys, what is the time?
It's 10:05.
Okay, let's finish this and wrap it up. Index is equal to, okay, web access logs. I am taking it. If you see here, okay, web access logs, okay, I'll be taking the all time better because I've stored it on my local machine. Okay, you see here, that's count by what type of source type I have for the web access logs. This is my index. When I'm copying this, uploading the logs, I have given this index name, but automatically source type is identified by my machine itself, Splunk itself. Okay, so what is that source type? Let me check for all the logs in the web access index. The access combined, web related, WQT they said. Okay, so these are the logs, access combined logs we say. Okay, so let us see this particular events. Okay, so if you go anywhere in the world, okay, the log format for any web server will be always defaultly like this only. Okay, maybe here and there some small minor modifications will happen. Okay, the timing convention might be getting different for different types of systems. Let me show you here by selecting the raw fields. Okay, this is a better way. Okay, if you see this, guys, the first portion of it says, okay, from which source I have. This is a web traffic. Whether forget about whether it is incoming or outgoing, but web server side it is generated this logs. It received some request. What it has done for that request. So this is the request. What it is. Uh, this is the system which has actually collected what do you say the IP address of the
Requested.
request. Okay, so okay, fine. So you got the request. Okay, now from where? Okay, this is the timestamp. Okay, okay. This is the. Let me check. Yeah. Okay. This is the timestamp. Okay. This timestamp is like the month, um, forward slash, I mean like date forward slash, month forward slash, year like this. For some different logs, this might be format might be getting changed. Okay, the IP address might come here, but the timestamp will go here. Okay, we will see that for web server log from IIS will be getting like that. But what you have to remember, this is one client request, and this is the IP address. Okay, and this is the resource what I am trying to access. I want to get the access of this particular entire resource till where? Till here. Till here. This is the resource. Resource means which file I am trying to access. Okay, using the GET request. Okay, so and what is the response from the server? I have got 200. Okay, successfully it responded. Within that only it is there. See, for request whatever it is received, what response he has given is combinedly formed. Got it, guys? Guys.
You mean
Yeah.
request and response within the
For a
same?
request, what happened? What it has done? Instead of incoming request, I have received telling it, okay, separately. And what response they have taken, telling it separately. That will be very good, right? For this request, I have done this. That gives very good context. Correct, right? Am I correct or not?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that's what for the get request, what it has done is actually sent a 200 OK message. Okay. So now, what do you say? This is the system name. Okay. Where the request is actually the host name. This is, and this is the user ID, user agent.
User
This
is.
is the user agent. Okay. Till here. Okay. So just remember that once if I actually select this to list the representation, you see the host name. Say for example, I want to see the uh, host name. Okay, host name or URI. Okay, URI nothing. URI path is this. Complete URI is this. Sound. Okay, so if you go and see the referred domain, okay, this is the these are the domains. Okay, these are the domains. Let me check. I want this. Yeah. So let me check where it is. Okay. Um, from Google, someone has actually referred to reach this website. Okay, this is the referral. This is the referral. Okay, what is meant by referral? If I go here, okay, if I click this link, who is the referrer? Referrer is Flipkart.com. Okay, now, oh God, okay, now what I'll do, SOC training I will give here, Bangalore. Okay, I did a lot of websites. Okay, now I click on this particular website. Now, let me take this particular thing, open it in, because referral is very much important as well. Okay. You don't know, like sometimes who is sending the traffic to your source. That is the thing. For the companies, it is very much important for giving some, what do you say, referral bonuses, not referral bonuses, like whatever it is, like affiliate things, all those things, right? Some frauds will be happening. By chance, if you are getting into that kind of business, I mean, like kind of companies, then it is very important for you. Okay, now what I can do, Control H I will be doing, not Control H, inspect I will be doing it. Inspect. Okay, let us go to the network. Let us click on this. Let me check whether we have the referrer or not. Yeah. Now we got right, Google. Which website we went? Coral.com we went. Correct, right? Correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But who has actually referred when we clicked on that? Google.com. Okay. Let us go to here. This one. Okay. If you see this, we reached that website completely. Okay. Request. This is get request. Okay. Who is the referrer?
Google.com.
Yes, that is what it is. Who is referring you? Sometimes some attacker might be referring some redirecting traffic to your this thing web server. Correct, right? That time you have to see who is the referrer. If it is an IP address, means if a referrer is an IP address, suspicious blindly. If it is not whitelisted one, if a referrer is an IP address, or if a domain name which is a random, okay, or if a domain name which is like having a baby domain, that is a suspicious thing. Remember that. Okay, like we have discussed earlier. Okay, look for the user agent, understand the user agent, see what is this user agent, like is it like a deprecated version or it is the latest version. If you are monitoring the app data, if it is a app data, so for example, is it possible like people, okay, Mozilla release history, okay, if you take release history, Firefox version history, if you take here, okay, uh, when it is, okay, Mozilla Okay, here. Let me take this. 2011 browser. Is it any chance someone will be using it? By any chance? Nowadays?
No.
No, sir.
No, right?
No.
No.
So write the correlations in a way that where it went up. Huh? Okay, here. Hey, I have to do this one. Okay. So write the correlations rules it in a way that okay, if the Safari versions which are very old, Mozilla Firefox versions very
Raghu, we
old.
are unable to see the screen.
How come? Okay, now,
No, sir. No.
now.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
So select point, Microsoft Paint. Select Microsoft Paint. Yeah, we are able to see now.
Now you will be able to. Okay,
Yeah.
I have selected the complete. Okay, so see this now. Okay, this particular time is just the time, the moment it received by the indexer. Remember that. What it is? The moment it received by the indexer, not the timestamp of what the log has actually sent. Okay, remember that. Okay, if it is along with the timestamp, if it has sent, then no problem. It will be the server timestamp. If for any log, if there is no timestamp, but indexer is received it, then it will put its own timestamp. Just remember. Okay, if someone asks you, what is the timestamp here? Is it servers or its own? Okay, because if there is no timestamp over there, if someone for any event, I'm not talking about the web, any event, if no timestamp is there, if indexer has to put some timestamp, the moment it received whatever it is the timestamp, it will put that particular thing over there. If any log has received along with the timestamp, then it doesn't modify the timestamp. Just it will represent the server's timestamp timing format. That's it. It will convert. Okay. Okay. Then this is the which resource you are trying to access, which folder, which file you are accessing. Okay. Then this is the response codes. Okay. Then this will be the google.com means
Reference.
like who has referrer. Okay. And this is the
User
what is the
agent.
system?
User
User
agent.
agent. Yeah, user agent. Why we don't have the host name here? I mean, like whatever the host name which we get it right, it is not here. Because if you are not the correct host name, the system wouldn't have reached here itself. Correct, right? Since you are the host name, that is the reason the request has received by you. Okay, and you have processed it and you are sending the response also. Okay, so that is the reason host name is not required. Host name is already available by here. This one. This is the host, the system, the server where this is getting processed. Okay, so that's why they need this particular part. Okay, so then which folder is called as source? Okay, from where we are receiving the logs. From the forwarder is sending the logs, right? That is called as source. Okay, forwarder from which folder it is sending, that is called as source. Okay, um, source type is like as I said, like which type of logs. I just updated all 200 OK only here, but instead you can say remove it and you can get whatever you want. Stats count by source type, comma, status. Okay, not source type is not required because only one source type is there. State, oh, comma, why I put comma. Okay, so now this is the one of the other types of logs. So web server logs will be like this, and in Nginx logs will also be almost the same format. There is not even like the change in any sort of difference in between these logs and Nginx logs. But the server timing convention is there, right? That little get changed compared to our this thing. Okay. Then IIS will have some vice versa, like logs, whatever. If you see here, okay, IIS will have the IP address will be next, and this date will be here, like this. Okay, IIS means Microsoft Web Server, whatever it is communicating, right? It will be like that. Okay. Uh, and it will be having what do you say, some other, like all the refer fields and everything almost the same, but it is like not doesn't give like much information what the Apache or Nginx gives. It will be less only compared to that. Okay. So tomorrow let us little deep dive into those server aspects. Okay. So these are important things which we have to cover. Uh, Monday we will cover those topics. Tomorrow we'll be only doing on, since we have got all these data fields and all. Okay, for our Splunk related things. Tomorrow we'll see. Huh? I think most of you guys have finished, but still for Subrato and Siddhant's sake we have to cover them. Okay, Splunk related things, basics, fundamentals. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Raghav. Yeah.
Okay, fine then. Let us see tomorrow. Okay, but yeah.